Welcome in, everybody, to the New Orleans Saints franchise. It is the year 4 offseason today. It's a big one after back-to-back losing seasons and failing to even win a game in the second half of the season this year. We are ready to go for our newest offseason as we try to put the pieces in place to make the Saints a winner again. So welcome in, everybody, to the live stream. If you're watching this after the fact, I'll try to have some chapters for you to skip around because these off seasons tend to take a while and all that good stuff. So I am prepared, I think, for a good off season today. I know what I want. I got significant clarity there. But welcome into the stream, everybody. Saw a couple of you became re-upped your membership on the channel. I really appreciate that, Jay Thomas and Boogie Turner. Glad Boogie Turner could take some time out of his fantastic career to spend some time with us here. So I went through a lot of the stuff today to look at, all right, what positions do we need to focus on? What kind of plan do we need to go into the offseason? And the conversation's going to start, of course, at the quarterback spot, given we haven't had great quarterback play in the series, but arguably the best performer we've had, especially for a 4-game sample, David Mayweather is that guy. He showed the ability to maybe be the quarterback of the future, but, you know, we haven't seen him play all that much. His ratings aren't, you know, as good as you'd like them to be. He's a little injury prone. He does have normal development. So I've really thought this entire time I would be taking a quarterback today. And we'll see if it all plays out that way. I know that picking at 7, it might be a little difficult to get who we want there naturally, given so many quarterback needy teams ahead of us in the top 6. But quarterback is just the start of what I think we need to do today. So when it comes to the other needs I've pinpointed here, I'm looking at the running back position, given we've been much more run heavy. Alvin Kamara going on 31 years old, regressing. I want a running back. And I'd like to get somebody who has speed and big play upside to combine with an offense that has opened up big running lanes. We didn't have any big play element there, although we had a great rushing game without it. I'm thinking of the wide receiver 2 opposite of Chris Olave, as A.T. Perry hasn't really developed into that guy. I think he's a 3 or a 4. And then you've got Jacoby Pearman, who has missed some time this year, and he hasn't really become more than what he was originally, which was a speedy, like, short route runner, deep route runner, big play threat. I'd really like somebody who wins primarily with their route running, and I'm finding that to be really tough to find right now. So those are the spots on offense, and then defensively, I'm thinking maybe in free agency we go D-tackle like we did last year with Aleem McNeil. Is there somebody more impactful out there? And then the safety spot, and I think I could be in the market for 2 this year. Jabril Peppers was an addition last offseason. Didn't have a great year. His coverages are on the low side. And I think that we need to get better safety play and guys who can cover a bit more ground, and that's going to be something else we attempt to do. So let me catch up on some super chats here. I appreciate it, everybody. We got over 500 in the chat right now. Also, Olave is due for a number change. Tyler Lockett. Why would we be looking at a change for Olave's number? I happen to like the number 12 for a receiver quite a bit. Michael, appreciate the super chat. Been a fan for a long time. Any chance we see Matt Pierre come out of retirement at some point? Revisiting someone like him. I don't know if it maybe is like a coach or something of that nature. He's one of the only players I've really done a full career for on YouTube. I did 10 years with him, played every single game. 160 plus episodes. That was one of my longest series. What's up, Kane? I just finished a Juicy Lucy before my show here in Minneapolis. You're right, it was bomb. I'll catch the VOD tonight. That sounds great, Mike. Glad you enjoyed it. Hope you have a good time in Minneapolis here this weekend. Thank you. And Jaden, love the content, Kane. I'm a Commanders fan. Do you think the Bears will take Caleb Williams or will he fall to us? No, I just can't see any reason to think that the Bears will pass on Caleb Williams. I mean, I thought during the season it became pretty obvious, like they didn't trust Justin Fields to do a whole lot. Their offense was incredibly basic, and it was kind of obvious to me that, all right, they're just going to take quarterback number one, and if you have the opportunity, I think you're going to take Caleb, no questions asked. And Boogie Turner, what's that 10? What's that, it's shown like a milestone, a 10 milestone of some kind. If you can't trade up to get your guy, don't do it. Let's all keep in mind the Jags passed on Love and Hurts at 9 in 2020 to give Minshew another year. Don't force a quarterback onto the roster if it's not the one you want. Cheers. I got 3 quarterbacks I'm pretty happy with, and I'm not willing to go to my 4th option over David Mayweather. So let's just kick it right off here with some quarterback talk. And the mock drafts, when we get to that point in the offseason, I'm on edge waiting for that. I'm going to say my favorite guy is honestly Trent Ainsworth, although the rankings and stuff changed throughout the year, and at one point it said Blake Westbrook had top 5 talent. I think he's going to come in with a higher overall than Ainsworth. I'm guessing that he is close to top 5, maybe he ends up being 6 or 7. I like Westbrook a lot. Definitely a QB1. He has a strong arm. He's very accurate, really good in the medium area where we've lacked throughout this series. Good under pressure. There's a lot to like. He does have a slow, elongated throwing motion, though, which definitely has to come into play when you're comparing guys. Whereas Trent Ainsworth has the fast motion. He also has a strong arm, and maybe it's not as elite. And then he has the A short accuracy, B deep, B medium, along with A throw on the run, higher than I believe C for Westbrook. He just checks so many boxes. And from what I've seen in the mock drafts, he is kind of looked at as the QB 2 or 3 in this class. Now, what's interesting is Chris Hale and Grant Woodard are 2 players who are supposed to be really high on just the overall board, if you look at the top 10 players. So they're 7 and 8 respectively, but the talent shows they're not deserving of that. So we'd love for a quarterback-needy team to prefer those guys, but these are the only 3 I'm willing to take today. Hunter Boone is the other option, who has that fast over-the-top motion. He has really strong arm, a little acceleration. I think he can break the pocket and make a couple things happen. With that C awareness, I think his overall is going to be a tad lower than the other guys. But accuracy is going to be really good across the board. But he does not have the same under-pressure throw-on-the-run combo as Ainsworth. So I rank it just like this. Ainsworth, Westbrook, Boone. Even though Westbrook has that slow delivery, he's just such a high-level prospect. If he's there, would you take Donald Ryan over quarterback? So, receiver is another one of my big needs. And this is supposed to be a really good receiver class. It's listed as the top strength of the entire draft class. I don't actually like the receiver class for us. Donald Ryan's is the one guy that, is the can't-miss prospect. He's going to be probably close to generational, exceptional athlete. I think he's a playmaker. Yeah, playmaker archetype in this game tends to come with low route running and just good break tackle, jukes and stuff, but he brings everything to the table. He is really polished and really good for a top 5 ranked receiver. Now, if you want a quarterback, there's just no chance of getting Ryans. He might be the first non-quarterback off the board. For other receivers, Theo Hopkins, Malik Akins, Barry Skelton to a degree. I think these guys just have way too much overlap with Jacoby Pearman. I think they can be better. They can have hidden development. They can be a little more polished. But, like, think about Jacoby Pearman. He has, like, a high 70s deep route running, high 70s short route running, lower catching, elite speed. Malik Akins isn't even there as a route runner compared to him, and Theo Hopkins is basically Jacoby Pearman. So is it worth it to spend an early pick on a receiver that might barely clear Pearman, and if he has normal development, might not even be better? So those guys to me just aren't a fit. Terrence Richards, around 2 to 3 talent, he's not a good route runner. I already told you I want someone who can run routes. I'm still interested in Richards because his athleticism is really good for a 6'5", 224-pound receiver. He's like that classic day 2 height, weight, speed receiver. DJ Chark. I'm going to go deeper for some of these, like Brian Quick. You know, that archetype of receiver. Low route running, Denzel Mims. But this guy checks a lot of the boxes. If he has hidden dev, then you think you can fill in the gaps. Then there's Justin McGee. I have him at 50%. It's not enough to take him, but he also is a pretty good athlete, is going to have the lower route runnings, but a lot looks good if you can get him on day 2 somewhere. Chad Binns, I think he's the next guy I'm excited about because at the very least, A short route running, C deep, C medium. Nothing there is a D. I feel like Binns, especially if he's got hidden development, he can be the guy I'm looking for. So it's not a bad receiver class, but I only see one elite guy. The next, like, day 1 starters don't really fit our team. And then the guys I'm interested in are a little too raw to count on to be that guy immediately. That's the way I look at it. For the running back position now, 2 guys really stand out to me, and that's Tavares Cofield and Jose Grimes. I want to get somebody who has more explosiveness in the backfield. I like the pass-catching ability as well. Cofield, I keep comparing him to Jahmyr Gibbs. He's an elite pass catcher, so many A grades there, jukes, spins, elite speed. There's a lot to like with Cofield. He is mocked late first round. Jose Grimes is the guy I have after him, fits the same play style. Speedy, agile, athletic, can catch the football. I just think he's a tick down. Yeah, that's the way I look at it, James. I think that he can offer a lot of what A.T. Perry has, but with release, makes him more versatile. A.T. Perry hasn't developed the complete skills, so he's really more of a complimentary receiver at this stage. Just got my 3-year badge, got to show it off. You don't think any quarterbacks on day 2 would be a pick? Looks like a few with round 1 talent may be there. So with the quarterback spot, my thought there is, like, I want one of the best guys, or I'd rather stick with Mayweather. I have gone over these guys. I haven't finished all the profiles, but like Nathan LaFleur. We got, decent to solid throw power, which isn't all that good. I just don't think I should get somebody with this level of skill set to compete with Mayweather. I think if that's what you're giving me, I'm going to stick with him. Because Mayweather, his profile looked a lot like this one. He was all accuracy. His under pressure might have been a B. And I targeted him because I'm like, all right, that's a backup right there, at least. And I don't want to take somebody else with the carbon copy skill set. Please change Mayweather's helmet. I'll take a look next year. Jalen, I appreciate the super chat. What do you think about trading Marshawn for a pick to move up and get that running back and quarterback in the first? I am open to it, honestly. But when I was looking at how many picks we already owned, I felt like we have enough picks to do what we need to do. If it doesn't work out that way, then I am willing to trade Marshawn Lattimore. Like, he hasn't had terrific on-field play, and yes, the sliders is something I need to look at here before we get to the next season to see if I can clean something up and try to get the secondary to really play like the ratings suggest they should. But Marshawn's entering the last year of his career. He's going to be 30 this season. I'm willing to trade him. I just think that with the needs I have and the picks I have, I don't need to think about that quite yet. But where it becomes a problem is if I have to get a quarterback by trading up and I have to check another box by also trading up. If I have to trade up with both the first and the second, there goes like my depth and my value here. I own 12 picks, 4 top 100, and if I had it my way, we would get a quarterback without sacrificing too much more than our first round pick. I'd also like to get a running back, maybe a receiver. And, you can only check so many boxes in 1 year. Because I also really like Johnny Fenderson here as a safety for our defense. 5'11", 217, hybrid. This athleticism at safety can be sometimes hard to come by. And he's going to have the versatile skill set I like. This guy is a young Jabril Peppers. He has the kick return ability, zone, man, can tackle, hits, and is a great athlete. I really like Johnny Fenderson, one of my favorite players in this draft. He is going to be one of my focus players today. Yeah, I don't think trading up for a running back is the best idea. But I do think that, like, Tavares Cofield is the type of running back worth trading up for in general. So, we're here in staff week. I appreciate that, Jack. Just got the haircut a couple days ago. Was bothering me. So, I want to kick off the offseason here now. And we're going to do so by going ahead and firing our defensive coordinator. I'm looking for a new coach that has some different ways of helping our defense. On this inside 4-3 tree, I think my camera is blocking a lot of the descriptions here. Let me turn that off temporarily. He helps finesse moves and stuff. I'd rather have somebody who could help out with power moves and strength here for defensive tackles. For defensive back guru, I think I'd like to be on the other side of this tree as well. And just given the play of our defense, I like the other side of the second level tree better as well. So, we're going to start off this offseason. Marlon Burgess, good luck in your future endeavors. And let's see who's out here. Now remember, we have to hire a DC. If we hire a head coach, they're not going to have like anything developed for their defense. They have a head coach coaching tree set. So we've got to go to the DCs. Adam Rodgers is maybe somebody we could look at here. Has a lot developed. Full blitz. 3-4 defensive coach here in Thomas Quinn. Scott Jackson. Man secondary D-line guru. All right, let me check this. So, stacked box here. We got agility and the stamina. This one here doesn't seem to be as useful for me. Man secondary awareness getting a boost. Agility and play rec at the safety spot. So he's more so helping the safeties out than the corners. But this D-line guru, That is not bad at all. But I think I like the other side. So I don't think I want him as much. I want to see what that full blitz looks like. I don't think I've taken a look at that one quite yet. So Thomas Quinn. That's going to help out acceleration for outside linebackers, strength for middle, and then finesse moves for the outside linebackers. It's going to eventually help out power moves for inside linebackers. But I don't think that's actually as useful as a lot of other things. I have no face cam on just so you can actually see like the rating boosts that are happening on these coaching trees. Zone secondary, stack box, D-line guru. He's got power line. When you scout the 3 players, make sure you do it from the same screen. Like all players are favorites. Yeah, I've kind of learned finally how to avoid that. You can't click into player profiles. You need to just know who you're picking and select them from there. If you do need to go into a profile, make sure you back out to your main franchise screen and then go back in to get that to actually work. So I'm just taking a look at who I think really helps us here. The right side of D-line guru is definitely what I'm looking for. You haven't missed anything yet, Austin. I'm just talking about my plans, and I've gone through some prospects, but nothing major has happened yet. Trying to hire a defensive coordinator right now. I'm not sure I'm actually going to change the full defensive playbook. Finesse line, well-conditioned. Like D tackle is one of those positions I'd really like to help address with the coaching hire. Do head coaches who used to be DC have good trees? No, they now have head coaching trees. Like, I looked at D'Amico Ryans in an offseason, and he didn't have anything for coordinator. It was all in head coach, which is an oversight on their part. Hi, Kane. Favorite MLB The Show 24 rebuild teams? Well, the Oakland Athletics, again, would not be a bad option. I actually think the Red Sox are an interesting one because I think they have a lot of work to do and a larger budget than a lot of other teams. So that's, if that's the flavor you're looking for, I think Boston's actually kind of intriguing. I still think there's some intrigue with a team like the Mariners, especially because of who you get to start out with. Rockies, I mean, nothing's really changed there. The White Sox, definitely. That's kind of a spot where you almost need to just completely start from scratch. Nationals, yeah, that's a good one too. I do like this tackle boost for D-line guru. That could be a little bit of a help. And the man secondary, the awareness boost, I also like. I think I'm cool with who we got here. This is stack box, man secondary, D-line guru. We're going to hire Adam Rodgers as the defensive coordinator for this year. Oh, yeah, the Pirates. I forgot about them somehow. They were my number 2 for doing franchise last year. All right, so we've made that change. We also have already gone through retirements at the end of the last episode. Guys like Odell Beckham, Jordan Poyer, Eric Kendricks, John Feliciano. Big names like Aaron Donald, Adam Thielen, Trent Williams, Stephon Gilmore, Jake Matthews, Bobby Wagner. Going to be fun to see teams really change more and be forced to use these draft classes and hopefully come up with new identities. So let's advance to our re-sign stage. Yeah, I need to get some more music going here. I forgot to loop it. I didn't sign the right DC. He had the same 3 trees. Running back regression? Yeah, I can dive into that quick because that was a big focus of my XP sliders I put a lot of hours into. So here are the top running backs right now in our league. Only a couple guys here are at the 30 overall range. And, you know, the high dev guys, you know, Saquon Barkley's, they're not going to regress significantly because of that high dev. But, you know, what about guys who aren't on that level that are starting to get older? You know, this would be year 3 of regression for Tony Pollard, and he just lost, you know, 22 points. And now he's more of a middle-of-the-road starter at age 29, and so he'll have a couple more years of usefulness. Like Austin Eckler is down to an 82, and now he's more of a borderline starter, and he's down like 20. And then guys like Kamara, he's down to a 77 now. I think this year you're going to see so many more running backs that were drafted at one point or another in this series take on starting roles, and we happen to have a good running back class today. Hey, Kane, excited for the offseason. What do you think about Judy to the Browns? Looks like my Broncos are finally embracing the rebuild. You know, veterans typically aren't worth much in trades unless they're, like, playing at a really high level. I would have thought they could have gotten more than that. Like, was Carolina not willing to offer a little bit more than a 5 plus a 6? Even if they matched that offer, their 5 and their 6 would be higher, so more valuable. But, I don't know. Judy's one of those guys I think everybody liked coming out of Bama, and then we're, like, waiting and waiting for him to become that guy that we thought he was, and you can only wait so long. And that's kind of where I am. Also, it's very interesting. The Browns have made a big trade for a receiver. Now, each of the last 3 years, their top 3 guys were all acquired via trade. Amari Cooper, who they got for a 5. Elijah Moore, I forget what they gave up for him. And now Jerry Jeudy. All right, mock draft 3. I am really more interested in this than anything else right now. I want to see. Ooh. Don't tell me the Giants want my guy. Donald Ryans, they have going 1. Trent Ainsworth. Westbrook. They got us taking Johnny Fenderson. That's not going to happen at 7. Hunter Boone falling all the way down to 22. Now, free agency is also going to be important here. We have a couple guys that are going to be available, like Sam Howell. But I would think the Commanders would want a quarterback up there. Shout out to Kendre Miller, fantasy breakout for the 3rd year in a row. Yeah, I'm not giving him quite enough carries to be fantasy usable. Possible trade for 4. Yeah, that's a spot I like. 3 and 4, those teams are not going to look quarterback. And my philosophy here is I'm not going to trade with a team that has a major need at quarterback, because like Madden doesn't have AI that determines like, no, I don't want to do this trade because this position is vital. This player has too much value. They just look at, okay, here's the value of what you're offering. Here's the value of what we're giving. And if it matches, then they do the trade. They look at if it's fair enough, not if it actually makes sense to trade. So I try to, just add that little flavor to my series, saying I'm only going to trade for a quarterback with a team that shouldn't be looking at one. I'm not trading with the Giants or Seattle. I might have to leapfrog the Seahawks, though, if I want to get Westbrook. If Ainsworth goes at 2, then see you later. Patriots don't have the need in our series right now. They happen to like Mac Jones in this, and they've signed him. Boogie Turner mentoring Juan Beard. To be honest, I don't know if there's anything that Boogie Turner could teach Juan Beard at all. Juan Beard is like a slight finesse rusher. Boogie Turner was a bulldozer. All right, so we're going to start things off here by rejecting Brian Bressee's 5th-year option because he hasn't developed to the point to where he's worth that much money. So he's going to play the last year of his deal, and we'll revisit later on. But he has missed in 3 years, 10 games. And he's a good player, but I'm just not picking up the option. Alvin Kamara, we're looking to see other options in free agency this year. He's available for other teams. We're not going to sign KJ Osborne, Eric Whiteside. Pretty much anybody with no interest is just going to get skipped over. I don't think I left myself a whole lot to worry about in this stage. Blake Groupie, though. I'll give him that offer. All right, we signed Blake Groupie. And I will try to... Well, I can always probably tag Gilliam. I like Reggie Gilliam a lot. Oh, we signed him! I had to pay him $5 million a year, though, like premium fullback cash. But, I think he does add a lot to our running game. Thoughts on Russell Wilson's free agency? Personally, I would hate it if my Steelers sign him. I think he's over the hill and brings too much of a circus with him. With Russ, I think the one intriguing thing is the terms of his contract with the Broncos, which I think it was the offset language. Like, the Broncos now owe him, I believe, $38 million this year. Whatever he signs will come out of that $38 million that the Broncos have to give him. So, say he signs a 1-year, $10 million contract with the team. Now, the Broncos are going to pay him $28 million, and the new team pays him $10. So, it's far more advantageous for him to just take the vet minimum. And that part is intriguing from a flexibility standpoint, especially if you're in the market for drafting somebody and you're not, tying your success to Russell Wilson. I think my issue with him on field is just, the effectiveness has gone down. He's limited as a passer over the middle of the field. And I just don't think he's got it anymore. And I think he'd be just very scheme dependent now. Like, you're going to have a lot of moving pockets and not really use the middle of the field a lot if you're going to have Russ and actually play well. What is vet minimum? The minimum amount of salary you are legally allowed to offer him, which goes up the longer you've been a player in the NFL. Yeah, $85 million in dead cap. Now, cap and cash aren't the same thing. That's not they owe him 85. The 85 might have been guaranteed, and it's, money he's going to get or have already gotten a piece of. But yeah, that's an atrocious situation for the Denver Broncos. You thought my quarterback situation in my franchise was a mess with the Broncos? Somehow, the real ones topped me. I didn't trade 2 first-round picks for a big mistake and then have the biggest dead cap hit in NFL history. I loved Russell Wilson a few years ago. I thought he was one of the most fun quarterbacks in the league to watch, and I could only dream of the Vikings having a chance to get him. And now, would I want him this year? At the vet minimum, if they take a quarterback early, I'm not against it, honestly. The Vikings have a lot of issues from not drafting well for 5 or 6 years. They had the great year in 2017, conference championship appearance. From that point until now, they've drafted maybe 5 players or less that are solid franchise building blocks. And they have really dropped the ball on defense. So the chance to have a rookie quarterback, cheap Russell Wilson, and then you start to try to pick out free agents that maybe could be on the younger side and could actually be building blocks for the next 4 years, that's super intriguing. We're in free agency now, and this is going to be an interesting session because there's a quarterback that could change everything here. We've talked about rookies. In our season here, Trevor Lawrence is available, and he has no interest in us. However, there is a receiver who is Garrett Wilson. That'd be interesting. Chris Olave, Garrett Wilson, Jacoby Pierman, Christian Darrisaw, Tyron Smith, Taylor Moton. You got TJ Edwards, Martin Emerson. Do we team the Buckeye receivers back up again? I would love to be in on Trevor Lawrence, but I can already say with 17 teams interested, him having no interest in us, why would I even bother? And you know what? I'm not even going to change my scheme to maybe make it work a little better, because multiple power run, it's who we are. I got $61 million in cap space, and I think Garrett Wilson is probably going to be our top target. I'm probably going to have to come in pretty high here on this offer. That puts us in the mix. All right, let's just identify the players, work on numbers later. If I want to make an offer right now on Trevor, I don't have the cap space to make this. I'd have to pull the offer for Garrett Wilson, which means, Garrett Wilson's going to sign probably after 1 week. Trevor Lawrence will as well. I have a small sliver of a chance to get Lawrence, and if I have an offer for him, I can't offer to Wilson. There's also a running back who may be available. Let's see if Kenneth Walker's out there. He must have been tagged or signed. Darn. Yeah, I don't think I'm super interested in this free agent running back class. He was not signed before we did our stream today, so I'd like to go see what his deal is. The CPU will use franchise tag now. That's a smart tag for them. They don't have a quarterback to pay, so pay a running back. Let me make it known right now, too. Like, I'm coping a little bit right now. I want the Vikings to sign Saquon Barkley. Yo, that was Brian Robinson. He and Bijan are a little bit different. As a matter of fact, they just picked up his 5th-year option. The Ravens just made a ton of space to pay Ronnie Stanley. That's pretty cool. They just restructured 5 guys. The Chiefs got Brian Daboll as OC. That would actually be pretty sick one day if like it doesn't work out in New York. Sean McVay is an OC with the Packers. Kevin O'Connell OC with the Jags. Dan Campbell, Giants OC. He used to play for the Giants. He also used to play for the Lions. And he's also played for the Saints. He's already coached for 2 teams, I think he played for. Did he ever play in Miami? I know he coached, that was his first interim gig, like years ago. All right, back to free agency, y'all. Oh, he did play in Dallas. All right, let's go to safety. Tyrann Mathieu. Don't think I'm looking for a reunion here. I wonder if I could be a little limited here, too. Former Saint Von Bell. There is Julian Love. He was kind of the one guy I saw earlier that wasn't signed that I thought maybe. He's not really going to move the needle a lot in coverage, but he is better. And he doesn't really have a weakness here. Like, you can play him all over the place at safety. He'll tackle as well. And we might need 2 safeties. And drafting one to develop isn't a bad idea, so. Hope the offseason is going good. I'm excited to see your sliders for next year. My franchise has been frustrating. Can I get a quick recap? Not much has happened so far. We got Reggie Gilliam back. We're letting a bunch of players test free agency, and now we're trying to sign Garrett Wilson. And potentially Julian Love. I'm just going to put that offer out there for now. And then... So we've been over quarterback. Brian Robinson's out there. I'm looking for a little more explosive option. Offensive line, I'm pretty happy with who we have. We have some young guys who are developing well. And then I want to look at D tackle. We signed Aleem McNeil last year. Not sure that was my best signing. Derek Nottie. Yeah, it's tricky here with a lot of guys not interested in coming here. Yeah, I was about to check those defensive ends, saying maybe there's someone who would fit. Zach Seiler. I mean, I don't hate that one, honestly. It would cost me like $10 million. Grady Jarrett. Now there's a guy. 3 teams interested. I might not be able to win that one. You know, these are the consequences for losing so much. You know, Super Bowl chase, we don't rank well there. Like coach career record, we don't rank well there. Big market, we don't rank well. I can't change that. I'm not attracting 2 million people to New Orleans with my team here. Use check. I got Reggie Gilliam. Gilliam's our guy. What's going on, Remington? Who is Donald Parham? I had checked out his ratings earlier after he broke out with the Chiefs last year, and I did raise him a little bit, just because I didn't think he got quite enough love for his season. Yeah, so I'm good targeting Love. Who have I already offered to? We got Garrett Wilson, Julian Love. It says I have 3 negotiations. That is inaccurate. I'm going to offer Garrett Wilson a huge deal. Because I need to beat those teams. Four years, 80 million. Ooh, that gave me the 5-star offer. Let's go. Did the tight end win Offensive Rookie of the Year? Yes, Kevin Blackwell did win, and he also got the boost to Start Ev. Appreciate the super chat there, Miles. Thank you. But what will that do to A.T. Perry? We do love A.T. Perry, but we're looking for a little more of an upgrade right now. Are there any Tim Cannon archetypes in this draft? I didn't really dig too much on the later round quarterbacks because I know I want a top guy or nothing. So, I mean, it'd be fun to look. It's always enjoyable to have that guy on the roster. Just a gadget playmaker, run around, make something happen type quarterback. I almost wonder if I should throw out a 1-year deal at Brian Robinson if no one else is interested. He doesn't fit exactly what I want, but it's a cheap way to potentially make the team a little better. I already have a lot of cornerbacks. I don't see me wanting to bring in Emerson. Zach Sealer is a defensive tackle in real life. He is a stud. Yeah, he might be worth an offer as well. Has good strength, decent block shed. You know, you can't have enough depth there when our best guy is Brian Bresee, and he's been, like I said, he's missed 10 games in 3 years. He's entering the last year of his deal. Sealer's not a long-term fix, but man, I really wish I could get a defensive tackle who had mentor. That's what I really need here. I don't know if I can convince Reader. Eric Armstead as mentor. So does Michael Pierce. So does Javon Hargrave. So all I have to do is try, maybe. Because I really want to develop Justin Medlock. And I think he needs a mentor to help get him there. I'm going to throw an offer here at Eric Armstead. So we've offered a Garrett Wilson, Julian Love, Eric Armstead. I didn't look much at linebacker. I mean, Zaven Collins was kind of interesting at 27 years old. Boye Mafe, if you want someone else who can rush the passer and rotate in. Super athletic. Not against that. TJ Edwards, yeah, that was also kind of an interesting one. Kind of a more developed version of James Bolden. One of the few players here who actually likes us too. I'm just going to check something quick on the roster. Yeah, we don't have a lot of edge rush depth with Houston, Beard, and then Foskey, Hayward. Well, I guess that technically is depth, having three decent guys. Well, Houston does have the X factor. You're in that last year. So I'm hoping next season is another jump for him, or at least another double-digit sack season. I got Bolden here. JOK. There's certainly room for another linebacker. I've been filling the roster out with my UDFAs. So I should offer to either Edwards or Zaven Collins. I think Zaven has decent zone. Yeah, 75. I'm going to offer to him. He's younger. Let's do a 3-year offer. All right. So that gives us, I think, 5 targets. Well, 4, I guess. All right. Garrett Wilson would be, a clear answer to our wide receiver need. And then our defense could use the boost as well. Let's evaluate. 2 decisions made. We got Garrett Wilson and Zaven Collins. We reunite Garrett Wilson and Chris Olave. Now we just need to know for sure who's throwing the football at him. But Garrett Wilson is a huge addition who will not be wearing 87. He is not a tight end. Here in our series, he hasn't had like massive years, but he has played for the Jets. Last year had Tua Tagovailoa. And still didn't have like an incredible productive year. Let's see. He played all 17. Just didn't have the big numbers. And honestly, with us, he might be in that same ballpark because he has to share the ball with Olave and Blackwell, and we run the ball so much. So that makes, the receiver thing a lot easier. Maybe if Chad Binns falls into our lap, he becomes a guy. Maybe if one of the height, weight, speed guys falls, then we don't have to count on him immediately. And then Zaven Collins. Combining him with JOK on like nickel situations is much better than using James Bolden. I have to just accept that he is a little more limited, and it's going to stay that way. Evaluating again. No decisions here. But what else has happened? Where did Trevor Lawrence go? Dude, we're doing this again. The Texans, who, by the way, just picked up the option on C.J. Stroud, continue to try and add quarterback. They did this last year with Tua Tagovailoa. I'm going to try to get Tua to go, or not Tua, that was last year. I'm going to try to get Lawrence to go somewhere else. We'll see if it works. I don't know why they're so fixated on doing that. Like, Stroud has to be even better than he was last offseason. They say he's a franchise quarterback. Will not be replaced until later in their career. Is he only playing 4 years? And on top of that, they've picked up his option. Only team with cap. And that could be part of it too. They have the space. It doesn't work for many other teams. Seattle could, though. Like, these teams have cap space. Not them. So here's what we're going to do. I'm pretty sure we did this last year. I'm going to raise CJ Stroud's ratings a bit to try and keep them from doing this again. So he's supposed to have 85 awareness. I'll just take it all the way up to a 99. And his short accuracy should be an 89. Leave it alone, Houston. I wonder if I edited his development too. Just stop. How many years have we heard of like the new Madden coming out and they're talking about like changing, the AI around how teams will treat their quarterback situation. And now I'm still having this happen. We have signed Eric Armstead. I think that's going to be a nice signing. Just a good all-around player and a mentor for Justin Medlock and Paul Redman and even Brian Bresee. We have a lot of young D tackles, and I should, look at other opportunities to bring in mentors. Is there another position where we only have young guys or counting a lot on young guys that need the development? Maybe like a backup at center. We have a young center. I might be able to sign someone in free agency for a cheaper deal, though. And I should probably wait on that. Cap space is a little limited. A mentor quarterback wouldn't be bad. And I'd also wait on that. Derek Carr, bring him back. Yeah, you got some options in here. Well, while I'm here, actually, is there anyone who wants Sam Darnold? There are some teams that are actually interested. Now, I'm not going to just rip a team off for like a third-round pick in the future, but like Denver might make some sense because of their quarterback situation. No, they got Juan Parker. We played against him in the preseason. He's in that same overall tier. I'm going to let them keep Juan Parker. But who else was interested? Tampa, Washington. I can trade him to the Commanders. What do I want? I keep checking out teams' safety situations. Nah. Here, just give me like a 7 in the future. There, the Commanders got Sam Darnold now. All right, so this stage is done. When it comes to Lance, what I would probably want to do is go into the preseason and make sure, like, if we have a rookie and we have Mayweather, make sure they're both, like, obviously the rookie spot is going to be safe, but just, like, I don't need anything from Trey Lance at a deal right now. I might as well let Mayweather pass the test again in the preseason before moving on from Lance. Oh, we have a late retirement. Gabe Jackson, Melvin Ingram. Doesn't affect us. Mock draft 4, by the way. What do we got? Ryans, Ainsworth. What? At least it's not the guy I want, but the Patriots might take a quarterback this year, and it's Chris Hale. Westbrook here. Ooh. I can't approach the draft now without a trade up, and I think our partner is at 4 probably. Arizona. I really wish they would mock me somebody a little bit more realistic in that spot. But I guess I have Fenderson super high on my board. My first reaction is just to put a running back above him. I say you can still trade with New England. They shouldn't be drafting a quarterback in this franchise. I mean, I can understand them doing it, but yeah, like they really shouldn't be, just given the fact they've paid Mac. Like, here's that situation. First of all, checking on the Texans. Why do y'all keep doing this to me? It's amazing they can afford this. I'm not sure there is any hope of like a different team signing him in this stage either. What? Should I undo both? I could jack up Stroud's salary to a point. I get all my music from the YouTube audio library. It's just a bunch of stuff YouTube has available for us to grab. I have an idea. Because this is an offline franchise, I have an option. I got one idea. Well, that's not a bad solution either. Garrett suggested finding a team and take him over and offer to Lawrence. But I thought about taking over the Texans and not offering to Lawrence. Trade for CJ, let them keep Lawrence. I even thought about that possibility. Maybe they just don't like him anymore. Appreciate that, Kobe. Is there a difference in offline franchise this year? Doing 32 team control is an option, is all. If I could just remember how to do it. I think I have to go to the options screen and then user teams and just take over the owner. Like, no one cares if I retire the owner for them. And just see if anyone else signs him. Why reverse the Howell signing? So they might be interested in signing back Lawrence. If Lawrence goes somewhere and they sign Howell, that's fine. But I'm just trying to get the league to hopefully make a little sense is all. As a CJ hater, force him to retire. That would also solve all of this. Trying to make sure stuff is set to manual. I have hopes for NCAA 25. You know, I'm definitely setting aside like opportunities to do stuff with that game when it comes out. You know, I don't want to have too much, you know, going on that's gonna distract from it, because I'm hoping that I can launch some new college football content, and I'm getting anxious for it for sure. Oh, yeah, I keep forgetting the stuff I have to do here. It used to be easier to switch between characters. They changed up some of the controls here. Hopefully someone offers to Lawrence and this isn't something we have to worry about again. Zach Wilson to Seattle. Do we ever get Julian Love? Nope. Now we did. So we've gotten our 4 targets now in free agency. Not bad. Garrett Wilson, the big one. That's exciting. You know what? I'm allowing that to happen. I'm allowing that to happen. I think they got him for a steal, too. It's him upgrading over Mac Jones. I'm okay with that. Trade for Jones? I could trade up with them, but I can still trade with Arizona, and that would be cheaper. Okay, so I need to switch to this character, and now I can retire them. And I'm just going to go ahead and edit CJ Stroud back now so I don't have to risk forgetting later. Have you ever thought of doing a franchise with fans? So I tried a very long time ago and I think it's really difficult to organize and run an online franchise. It is a lot of work. Just getting people to schedule and get games played. Like in an ideal world where everybody has a lot of time to play and it's just easy, like that would be fun. Like I've thought a lot about how a franchise would be different if I were playing with all humans. You know, managing your team in the off season would be a pretty special experience, potentially with the right group. But the logistics are a little too much. I'd love to see somebody trade for Mac Jones now. I haven't considered having someone else control GM calls for a division rival just because, like, it's not super easy to do that. You'd have to have someone doing the off season alongside you and stuff. It'd be fun to have more of an element like that, though, with other people to make it tougher. Like, I've long thought about what it would be like if I were, in that type of a league. Like, the projections in the draft would not even matter anymore. Now would be like the real thing, where it's like everyone's going to view players differently, and you wouldn't be able to sit on a guy just because you think he's going to last. You'd have no idea. You wouldn't be able to wait on that steal in the third round. You'd have to take him either in the first or hope he doesn't go in the second. All right, so Garrett Wilson. Someone's going to sign Howell. 4 teams interested. Cool. I don't know that there's a running back worth going after. I'm pretty much done with free agency. What do you think about not looking at mock drafts, since it does kind of give away how the draft will go? I'm kind of okay with like skipping mock draft 5 because it really is like the draft that's going to unfold that way. But I don't think there's anything wrong with seeing like mock drafts like 1 through 4. Like, you know, teams, they have an idea of where players are going to go in the draft. Like, there is an element of not being sure, but also there's a lot of people who talk around the league, and, you know, teams will often have a bit of an idea of maybe, you know, what quarterback will Washington favor at 2, or, you know, things like that. But I'm okay not checking mock draft 5. To keep it a little more competitive, and not to have that Patriots quarterback, you know, swap for Lawrence impact the information we know. Darisaw went to the Bears. That's disgusting. Tyron Smith to the Steelers. Taylor Moton to the Broncos. TJ Edwards to the Titans. Ooh, Reader to the Falcons. I hope they lost Grady Jarrett. Brian Robinson to the Vikings. Howell got signed to the Rams. So that's not one of the teams in the top 7. They were a playoff team last year. Jameis to Washington, but, you know, lower overall and everything. His great season might not matter a whole lot. I'm even sure that, Huntley is out there too, but there is a team trying to sign him now. Let's see. He went to the Jags. After the draft, you should see if any team is still in quarterback wasteland and take over that team and trade for Mac Jones. I'm totally in favor of that if there's somebody who doesn't even have like a 70 overall. Definitely. I like that. I've signed Garrett Wilson, Zaven Collins, Julian Love, and Eric Armstead. And now I'm going to choose my private workout players. And I try to do a good job before the draft of like identifying who I want the info on. So I know one is going to be strong safety, Johnny Fenderson. He's my favorite safety in this class. And then there was a middle linebacker that I don't know if I need the info on now, but he's projected to go rounds 3 to 4. And he looks really good. I'm going to go Stephen Lovell. And I might do Jose Grimes, because he's probably a day 2 running back. The Jags overpaid Howell instead of getting Huntley because the CPU only looks at overall. Is this the fastest we've ever made it to the draft in one of these off seasons? Usually there's like a lot more time that goes into the previous stages. Let me do a save quick. It works if I check favorites. I can't click on a profile when I do it. I'm pretty sure the way I did it, I'll have the information on those guys. I could totally be wrong too. Grimes is done, so that worked. 100% on him. Round 1 to 2 talent. I think he's just firmly my RB2. I like him and Cofield a lot. Cofield probably goes round 1. Johnny Fenderson. I wouldn't have finished this one. Yeah, I guess I didn't get Johnny's for some reason. And I didn't get Lovell's. I know I've done it from the favorites board before because that's how I get to the players fast. You'll get one at a time. Well, it's the draft is here. I would like my information now. Biggest issue with Madden? On field, I'd still say it is coverage overall. I think coverage has improved, but like ask a linebacker to cover a tight end in man coverage and tell me there isn't a significant problem still with how that works. If all you did was play Madden and never watch NFL football, you'd think tight ends were the best receivers on every team because they're always open. 7 catches, 85 yards, like at will if they want to. Off-field, feature-wise, AI team management, I think, is the greatest way to keep franchise competitive, make them make smarter decisions for building their team for the long haul. All right. We know we're going to want to move up, likely with the Arizona Cardinals. So, the Washington Commanders are going to kick our draft off this year, and they will select Donald Ryans, wide receiver out of Alabama. I think he's going to have really high, a really high overall in the probably mid 80s. Maybe an 83, 84 guy. All right, at number 2, the New York Giants will get the quarterback ball rolling. They select Trent Ainsworth, who was my favorite quarterback. And now we got the New England Patriots, who just picked up Trevor Lawrence. Big move for them. The top non-quarterback was already taken. I have no idea who this could be. Shane Ford, Boston College. They go pass rusher. And now I'm looking to see if we can move up to 4 to leapfrog Seattle. What is it going to cost me? I have 2 second rounders. I'm sure I'll have to part ways with one of them. Maybe I won't. I'm only trying to move up 3 spots. Now, one thing Madden also doesn't have here is like a bidding war for moving up to this pick. Like, what if there was another team that we had to compete with to drive the value up? That's missing here. This is honestly really cheap for us if this is all it takes. Oh. Not quite. I'm okay parting with one of our 4s. Add a future 2. This is for a franchise quarterback. Yeah, it's one of those spots where it's like I wish the game was a little more challenging and demanding of what I had to do. What do you guys think? Should I give them, a future 2 and this 3? Even then, in a bidding war, it could definitely end up being more in real life, but at least here we're respecting them a little bit. No, no, no. Future 3, no, yes. Future 2 makes sense. No, no, no. I think it's a little more no. All right, how about we do this year's 3, next year's 3. We split the difference a little bit. And we move up to number 4 overall. And it looks like we're going to be going with a quarterback that I thought would be first off the board. But I'm going to go with, I know he's got that slower delivery, which is a little worrying, but I'm going to go with Arizona State's Blake Westbrook. Elite throw power, has some mobility, probably, that Derek Carr level mobility. It's functional. He's not going to run for 50 yards in a game probably ever, but he can get a couple first downs here or there. To be honest, if I had the choice between him and Ainsworth, I'm probably going Ainsworth, but I do not have that choice. Wow! Normal dev on Blake Westbrook. I think he's going to have 75, 76 overall, but I did not expect that. Jacob had said, look at the true NFL draft pick values. See, even then, I'm not sure if you'd get a proper value looking at a chart because there wouldn't be a bidding war attached. And when you're talking about moving up for a quarterback, it's different. So in some years, it could be a future first because you get 2 teams fighting against each other. I gave him a 3 and a future 3 to go 3 spots. So Blake Westbrook, whose elite throw power is probably on the lower end of elite at 95. Someone just said Adam Kane 2.0. He is 21. He has a lot to like, but that normal dev and the slow release, that's going to keep the drama rolling, it looks like, into preseason. I do manually sub running backs, and it's something I wish I didn't have to do. Seattle, Hunter Boone. So, top 3 quarterbacks are all off the board. We pick again. Round 2, pick 7. And now I'm thinking of running back and safety primarily. Theo Hopkins off the board. Good receiver prospect. Malik Akins, another good receiver prospect. I do think I'm going to want to look at trading back into the first round. Quarterback to Jacksonville now, Grant Woodard. Dwight Ash. I did like him. I was going to scout him further, but I saw he was going late first in the mocks and passed. Deron Lowe. So let's check out my board here, because this is where I'm starting to think about that trade. I really hope, man, do I want to believe the board that Tavares Cofield could be RB3 off the board? Because that's what the available board says. So he's got D injury. Jose Grimes has F injury. That's tough. I also like Johnny Fenderson, but I probably have to choose between a running back and a safety. I do want to see some of the speed projections on other running backs now that we have that information. I want to look at my board primarily. So, great on Cofield. Good on Lance Bullock. I didn't get all the information on Lance. Solid. Marquez McNeil is a little more in that like big back with speed mold. Wait. He's 195 pounds. That's not true at all. I think earlier I saw his skills and I assumed he had size with the break tackle and the carrying and the low juke and stiff arm. No. I also kind of like Sergio Theory, just because he's a late option that has like good break tackle, stiff arm trucking. Might be a fun power back. Never got the extra info on like Fenderson, but I felt pretty confident in him. So I guess I want to know what it costs in this range. And there's still a trade I want to look into, actually. See, I wish they would just use my current second round pick. Well, I guess they did here. They want the future one. And they ain't getting it. There is a trade I would actually like to explore here quickly. I know we're mid-draft. It's weird timing, but the Colts, with Jonathan Taylor, drafted Jadarius Roby. We got to look at him last year. Run all over our defense. And although he's not the speedy, like, breakaway playmaker, I think he'd be a really good addition that we wouldn't have to draft here, but would it cost us, you know, one of those same picks? What would it cost us? He was just a third rounder. I'm not sure we have anything they would want. Let's just run the finder. There is nothing. I just want to get kind of an idea of the value they're looking for. All right. I'm going to sim past the Eagles pick. They go tackle. And then the Falcons, Marquise Young. Cowboys go Lance Bullock, and that's the first running back off the board. I do think potentially, I don't know, Carolina's there, and I don't know if they have Miles Sanders still. He's actually been good in this series. Now they've moved on to Doug Wallace, it looks like. That's cool. Yeah, we might have to leapfrog Cincinnati. Or trade with them. If we want to get Cofield. Or potentially safety. You know, safety's something I've wanted, and I know I have to go early if I'm going to get the player that I really, really target there. Johnny Fenderson. I think I'm going to prioritize the safety. Especially after getting Garrett Wilson. That's already one major upgrade to the defense, or the offense today. And a quarterback, you know, if that works out. But safety was a weak position group last year. It really was. So it might cost me that other second. Both fours? Yeah, I'm just not going to make up that difference with the late stuff. I gave up this year's 3. I gave up next year's 3. And I don't know if anyone's going to be there if I wait till 39. Because what's their pick? How many spots here? Yeah, that's 13. With like 3 guys I really like in this range. I just don't think they're going to be there. Just use Lattimore. That is an intriguing option, honestly. Can you go pick by pick and grab who isn't taken off the board? Yeah, that is a way of doing it, in a way I've done it before. I'm not even sure they could take on Lattimore's deal, so I don't think they're going to be a partner. At this stage, there are going to be a few teams that can't take on that $25 million. I don't know if my camera's blocking it right now, but like the Bengals can't. His contract is very limiting. Lattimore for Roby? Potentially, I guess. But I think this is still a spot where I want to try moving up for the safety then. It's a spot that's been tough for me to address in this series. My biggest additions have been Jabril Peppers and Tony Adams. So again, yeah, it won't work that way. Just going to have to give up both twos. And a 7 or 6. But I'm going to do it. I like Fenderson so much more than the other safeties in this class. He checks way more boxes. Johnny Fenderson at 50% complete profile, too. There's some risk here. But hidden development, I think we're going to be all right. We let the LSU safety stay home. Really good athleticism for the position. Can cover both man and zone. I'm sure his man coverage will probably be a B or C. But also kick returner. So he's got that athleticism. He's got the Jabril Peppers skill set on him. But he's 9 years younger. I don't pick again now to the 4th round. I can't believe Cofield actually slipped out of the 1st now. I am interested in the I don't think there's going to be anybody great on the trade block, but trading is probably the best way for us to address running back now, and Roby's on there. There are guys on there. Khaled Thomas also, you know, he has more of the athlete fit that I was looking for. He's also got a Pro Bowl under his belt. He might have been a kick returner. Yeah, kick return touchdown that year. Now, they don't have cap space to take on like Marshawn or something like that. One guy, though, I'm interested in potentially trading to potentially get one of these deals done is James Bolden. Because I don't think he's going to be a second contract player for us. Who do the Eagles have if they're wanting to trade a good young player, though? That's their only guy. And this is something else we can figure out in the preseason, too. Wow, the Colts could actually take it on. The cap space. Oh. We'd be taking a hit with our defense there, but it would get a Debo, Tomlinson, and Stoudemire all on the field. And Lattimore's a free agent after next year. Champ Bailey was traded for Clinton Portis in real life. I've never needed any more reasoning in my life. However, I do think I should be getting more than just Roby back if we do this. Roby isn't even good? I think Roby's pretty good. We got to see him in-game already. He's definitely more of a power back, but the acceleration's in a really good spot. And he was just a rookie, too. Star Dev, 1 year experience. He will get better than this. He doesn't catch the football well, but I do think that he can be a big upgrade to our backfield. And Lattimore is someone they could really use. I just screwed that up there. Let me fix that. And it might get us a pick back. If I can get Roby in a 3 for Lattimore, which, you know, he's got 1 year on his deal. That's a little questionable, but I do think when you factor in that it's a backup running back, I'm comfortable asking for more. I don't think this will go through. But, you know, he's a 92 corner. He might. Bang. Second rounder, Jadarius Roby. We're back in the game. They had other corners? I guess I was looking at the trade block, like, roster, technically, is how they would classify it there. Well, now it gives them more of a lockdown. Yeah, they didn't really need him. I did think they only had 66 overall corners. But now their cornerbacks are even better. Still a huge upgrade. So a little messy. But now we got Jadarius Roby. Am I going to continue the Titans franchise? Nope, that one is all wrapped up now. There goes Jose Grimes right at the top of the second round. Justin McGee to the Giants. Adonis Lippett. Tavares Cofield's going to the Cardinals. Excited to see his ratings. So now we've addressed my biggest areas of need this offseason. I want to take a look at my board and how it stacks up now. So this is like everybody who's available. Quantavius Dupree would be like my highest rated player because I'm not taking another running back here. But right now he's my highest Out of players I have favorited, he's the most likely to go next, basically. I thought he was just an interesting defensive lineman. I wasn't like super attached to the idea, but I liked him. Chad Binns could be a fit here coming up, and that would make receiver much deeper. Alex Sharp. So we traded away Marshawn Lattimore. Suddenly now you might want to look at developing another corner, and Sharp's coming up with the perfect fit for our defense, and he has that size to match what Tomlinson and Stoudemire have. Low awareness though, so I don't know if he would be one of those players like Justin Medlock who looks good on, you know, when he checked the ratings and then just can't make a play because his awareness is so bad. I just want to take a look at what picks I still own too. So I got this one coming up. I still have my 2 4s, a 5, 3 6s, and a 7. There goes a running back, Lindsey Bryant. I want to see if I can give up like a 4 and a 6 to get up to this spot with the Chargers. I wasn't in the trade menu. Yep, the 6 should be enough. All right, moving up and down the board again. Yeah, I think Sharp has to be the BPA, even if I liked Binns upside down the road. We're going to take Alex Sharp. Wow, normal dev on that. 90 speed, 95 acceleration. Will have really good man coverage and press coverage. And B zone coverage. Like, the only thing that's bad is the awareness, really. And then the development, too. So I guess if we don't land Binns, and that's not looking likely, then he's the guy to compare there. The Bears get Chris Hale from Cincinnati. Long ways from our next pick in the 4th round. Quarterback going to Dallas now on the 2nd day. There's a wide receiver, but not Chad Binns. Fourth on the board right now available, but behind another receiver. Barry Skelton might go over him. Skelton's not a bad prospect. I just didn't like him as much. I might see when Barry goes and then see if it's even possible for us to get Binns. The longer they're out there, though, the better. Patriots. So there goes Chad Binns. I hope that you're okay having Garrett Wilson instead. I did think there was a pretty good chance of the quarterback we took having hidden dev, because when you see these like day 2, like 3rd round guys that have like, you know, A man coverage, A press, it's like, wait a minute, these are things that, you know, these A's should get you in the 1st round. A lot of times those dudes have hidden dev. Cornerback can be a tough position to get a boost to for your dev, because it's tough to get the breakout scenario to work, because it usually takes interceptions, and pinpointing a game in which a guy could get a pick is tough. Coming up on our next pick, let's see what the board's got left for us. 17 players, a lot of them at redundant positions like running back now. So I'm not against trading out for future capital at this stage. There are some other receivers I could look to take maybe on day 3 later. I even have some UDFAs I will spend those really late picks on. But I think here, if I can get that 3 back, I will take it. So I need a 2027 3 if I can. There it is from the Rams. Green Bay, Atlanta. Okay, so Green Bay is offering us a 7 next year, and the Rams are giving us a 6 this year, so that's a better deal. Oh, I had DeMarco Clark on my board. I think that's a solid pick then. Steve Hutchinson is in this draft? I didn't realize Hall of Famers were draft eligible. I didn't know how good I had it then. You know, it's kind of a sick and twisted reality that the Vikings had like an amazing offensive line, and all they could do is jam Adrian Peterson behind it 20 times a game. Didn't have any quarterback play. Then quarterback gets a little bit better, you know, in the Kirk Cousins era, and they spend years trying to build the offensive line up, and the interior is still like super questionable. Matt Castle. There's a lot of people who thought you could go to a wild card with him. All right, we're in the 5th round now. Not a bad time to think about who my favorite receiver is left on the board and adding depth. But at this stage, I'm probably adding a 5th receiver. Antoine Priestley. Good athlete. C short, C deep, B to D medium. You know, he's probably a project, maybe just a minor contributor, but I'm intrigued sometimes when guys at least have nothing in the D's there. I mean, catching's a D, but I can actually deal with that easier than route running. Cliff Cartwright runs a 4.3, B short, C medium. I think that might be a more intriguing deal if you're okay with just the slot receiver with speed. Lewis Hood runs 4.3, C short, C medium. Antoine Dorsey, I have him as a UDFA potential pickup. Didn't run great, but as B short, B medium. So I think I like Cliff Cartwright the most here. He's 23, a little bit older. Look at Skelton. John Skelton out of Fordham. Barry Skelton. Elite speed. He ran 4.24. F route running. He can only do the deep routes. There are so many F's on there. If you came home with that report card as a kid, you wouldn't see Madden for the entire summer break. Convert to running back. I'm not confident enough that there's actually going to be like good carrying and stuff. Well, actually, there is good carrying. Well, Barry Skelton. Well, good carrying at the receiver position. What do you think the Vikings will do this offseason? I don't have a good feel on anything. You know, I don't think they're going to bring Cousins back. I think that the ship is kind of sailed there. Someone's going to give him a good offer. So he could kind of be that home run hitter, scat back, and maybe F catching isn't so bad when you move him to running back. Barry Skelton. Well, is there anything else for me to do? Some of these receivers that stay at receiver might actually be there with our next pick. Top of the 6. Playmaker archetype is basically running back in receiver body, right? Excels creating yards after the catch. Fights for every single inch as a runner. That sounds like a running back to me. 99 speed. Well, we'll see. That agility and change of direction, though, are pretty bad. But I can see the running back vision. It's the 5th round. Barry Skelton. Any quarterbacks turned receiver in the draft class? I wouldn't know unless I had drafted them to find out. Christian Rogers. Yeah, we'll check on the schedule when we know rosters a little bit better. Oops. There are a lot of quarterbacks going late. Hey, I had him on the board, dude. He was an undrafted, projected linebacker. And I wanted Carlos Divine. He's just a run stopper, but I thought he was good enough to get drafted. Apparently Carolina did too. Well, I hope there's something left for us to do here. I might take another receiver here. Yeah, Cliff Cartwright's going soon. Just a slot receiver. It was B short, C medium compared to Priestley. I like his athleticism. Oh yeah, C deep, C short, B to D medium, C release. Maybe Priestley's just a little more intriguing. He doesn't have the F grades. I'm going to take Antoine Priestley and hope that he has the ability to become a slot receiver. How many receivers are we going to have? One more. So Sergio Rhodes might be one of the only players left on my board worth considering, just based on the position and whatnot. What did I like about Rhodes? 5'9", 201. Thought he was a fine athlete. You know, we need backup safeties too, right? Sergio Rhodes. So typically when I'm doing these drafts, I try to limit myself to one trade down solely for future picks per year, simply because you can trade down so much for future picks if you just do it over and over again. So once I do it once, and I already did for the future 3, I like to spend my other picks, which means we have to do a little searching. I'll just skip to ours because I don't care about my board anymore. A finesse moves, but probably low strength, I'd imagine. Marginal. He's got good strength. Jazir Selvi. Yeah, I'm down with that. Add fullback and run the full house formation. I scouted fullbacks. I was prepared until we got Gilliam back. We did get Gilliam on a 2-year. I guess like a really good athlete at linebacker would kind of be fun. No strength here, so what else you got? Just coverage. I have a lot of young linebackers that I've been developing here, so it's tough to even, know if these players are going to be an upgrade. Everybody's saying Cone. Kyle Cohn. Oh yeah, I looked at Cohn earlier. It was just like he's got the Paul Redman kind of thing going on with the pass rushing and not the strength. I'm going to pass probably on Cohn unless there's nothing else I can find. I've already taken a couple safeties. A gadget quarterback? Scrambler. Tucker Moyer. Yeah, I mean, that kind of fits. I'm not really like super needing that. If I want that, I can keep Lance, and he's going to be better than anybody else here. And I have Mayweather, so I already know 2 quarterbacks are making my roster. I have a running back still on my board. Nate Lewis. Ran pretty good, has some strength. He has good speed, so probably in that 88 to 90 range. Nate Lewis ain't terrible. Yeah, very similar to John Waters. I'm going to add offensive line depth at some point. What do you do with a running back with F juke? Run on the very straight line. Yeah, Ash isn't really bad here if you want offensive line depth, and there are often some injuries there. His strength being this good too in this range ain't bad. I'm not going to take the running back, guys. I'm going to take Julian Ash at center. We had John Feliciano retire. I'm just looking to see if he gets taken, though. So, yeah, Nate Lewis does get drafted. That was fun. A little bit messy at times, but, you know, I like how the team has come together. A lot of upgrades for this year. Let me save it quick, and we'll break it down. We know our quarterback, Blake Westbrook, had normal development, but at times he was shown as a top 5 talent in the class. Give me 75 or higher. 76. Ooh, Alex Sharp had 76. We drafted the best normal dev players of the year. Blake Westbrook. 95 throw power. Those accuracies are going to need work. Those, you know, on paper, I think that I've always looked at those 80s as being a good starting point, but in this game especially, you're going to get a lot of misses there. You got to develop the guy. 86 injury. So we'll see this year. He's going to battle with Mayweather. Johnny Fenderson. Hidden dev safety. That's going to be nice. He has coverage that already compares to Tony Adams and Jabril Peppers, and he hasn't even taken a snap. And then Alex Sharp giving us more cornerback depth. Yeah, those ratings are really good too. We got Barry Skelton, who we think is more of a running back. A 66 at receiver. And a 64 at running back. But I'm willing to give him a chance there in preseason. He can still do a lot with that speed. Antoine Priestley at 68. That ain't bad. That is like A.T. Perry day one, but a do-over. And maybe better release. I like Antoine Priestley. And then we got a 68 in Sergio Rhodes. Not bad coverage on day one. Good speed. We got Jazir Selvey. Developmental D tackle. And then Julian Ash. Can probably stick as the backup center. I like that he's good against power. All right, so here's how it all unfolded then. Donald Ryans was number 1. I thought he'd have higher overall than 79. But he's got a chance to be pretty darn good. I have so many shoulder pads to edit. This is ridiculous. Trent Ainsworth at number 2. Another normal dev quarterback. His medium accuracy is a little iffy. Well then. Is Hunter Boone the guy? Hidden development. Hunter Boone was the guy. Hiding in plain sight. I can't believe that. It's going to take a while to digest that. That did not go how I thought it would. Weird. Grant Woodard has hidden development too. Here's Jose Grimes, hidden dev. Really nice player. Has that pass catching ability too. And then how good was Cofield? I almost don't want to know. 74 hidden. They're both really similar, but Cofield with the injury tiebreaker there for sure. That was my guy, and I really hope they play him. Ooh. Hey, we got 2 of the 4 highest rated players in the class, all right? And we also got Fenderson, who was in the top 10. But here's Duncan Meyer. Packers got a good tight end. High overall. I need to see, does anyone know where Chad Binns went? Or do I have to just sort by B and look that way? Probably faster. Normal. I liked Binns a lot. I was right to like Binns a lot. Short route running is, I've spent 3 years getting AT parry to that route running. Binns has it. Don't screw it up, New England. Trevor Lawrence has himself a player. We got the fastest player in the class. I want to see from a route running standpoint. 81 was the best you could do. Eric Sapp, Donald Ryans, Chad Binns. For medium, it's Ryans, Dorsey, Binns. Binns is a stud. And let's do the quarterback one now with these ratings. So, strongest arm, Christian Rodgers. But accuracy more important. So I didn't like LaFleur because I thought he was like, you know, had the David Mayweather skills, like almost the exact profile there. 88 short, 75 medium. Later in the draft, that's... What are these like late quarterbacks doing with good accuracy? Like Levi Silvers, look at this. 66 looks pretty good here. Let's go to, let's check Hale. Second round at 68. Hidden. At least one of you wanted to be contrarian enough to go Chris Hale. Any generational talents drafted in the series? Definitely. There was a guard one year who was generational. This year, didn't have anybody like in the 80s. But I think that receiver, Donald Ryans, was the closest we could get to a generational in this class. Oh yeah, Cowboys took the first running back, so that's another one where they could have a change there. Took a good backup here for Dak, another hidden dev. What's up with there being more hidden dev late options than early? Let's check out our rivals. So the Bucks took 2 defensive linemen. Got hit in here, 270 pounds. Not bad. Pierre Daniels, John Riles, Sean Samuel. Falcons got a good tackle. Then they go tight end, linebacker. They got Fury in the 4th. Panthers. Good pass rusher late in the 1st round. They were a playoff team, remember? Sean Kerr at wide receiver. 75 overall in the 2nd round. That's how you do it. Donald Ryan's teammate. Yeah, McGee's interesting here. Like, he's got everything but the route running on day 1. Looking at the highest overall by round, Oscar Rushing. He was on my board too. Not bad to swap out Zaven Collins for a hidden dev rookie 2 overall less with 90 speed, 85 tackle. Dang. 4th round, Sergio Theory. They don't even need that. Behind Bijan. This guy's like Jadarius Roby. They got him end of the 4th. Bo Brown, Lewis Hood. Here's the best picks of the 5th round. That's decent. Raw athlete here going to the Steelers. 6th round, another receiver in Jerry Robinson. Hidden, or no, normal dev. Slot receiver. And in the 7th, no 70s taken. Let's check Nate Lewis. If I saw a hidden there, I was going to have to leave. Man, that's just Kendre Miller's skill set, though. Just taking one last look here, team by team. A lot of picks here for Arizona. We helped him out there. We've traded with them in this series a couple times, I'm pretty sure. I'm not sure I checked out Terrence Richards. This is kind of a relevant one with Kansas City. Hidden dev. We'll see where he goes from here. Oh, they got Grimes and Ryans in Washington. I was curious about Marquez McNeil, too. Hidden dev. Not bad. Very similar, again, to Miller, but has that dev boost. Yeah, we just finished the draft. Just looking at some teams right now. Nice job here by the Giants. Oh yeah, Lovell. Really good. The Packers had a really good draft. Four players. Nice and simple here for the Raiders. Yeah, this is a good draft for Seattle. You go quarterback, tight end, receiver like that. Building like a whole new offense. That's pretty close to like what Blackwell was on day one right there. Hidden dev? They did themselves pretty good here. Steelers got 5 guys north of 71. Yeah, I can go over our class one more time before we move on. Let me just finish the alphabet here. All right. So, we trade up, get our quarterback. We identify Blake Westbrook because Ainsworth was off the board. It turns out Westbrook has normal dev. And I think it's a legitimate competition with him and Mayweather. Their accuracies are similar. Their development is the same. Westbrook has, more ratings in the right places, but we'll see if he plays well enough to be our starter on day one. We then move up to get a safety, Johnny Fenderson. And then, an interesting move here. We went and we traded for Jadarius Roby of the Colts. And we gave up, to do it, Marshawn Lattimore, entering the last year of his deal. We're going to trust our other corners. We traded Lattimore for Jadarius Roby and a 2, and then selected Alex Sharp. So replaced Lattimore with Sharp, who was one of the better cornerbacks in the class. And then the chat talked me into taking Barry Skelton, a speedy receiver who had better running back skills, but his overall is lower. But I'm willing to try it out. He had better carrying and ball carrier vision than other receiver skills. Then it was my idea to take Antoine Priestley at receiver, and I'm excited to try developing one of these receivers again. But we got so many targets to get the ball. Will I have the chance to do it? And then we go and take, a late safety, D tackle, and center, not as critical of trades or picks. So let's get to the start of the season. Preseason week 1. And let's go ahead and see our schedule. Who do we open against? I'd love to see the Giants on our schedule this year. Buccaneers in week 1. I'm so sick of it. But it's going to happen again. Green Bay. We haven't really seen them since year 1, I think. Cardinals. Tavares Cofield, Kyler Murray. Ravens, tough battle there. Panthers, Lions. Browns. So we're taking on that whole division then. Bengals, Vikings. Haven't seen them in a while. Falcons, Panthers, Falcons. Commanders. Bears. Steelers, Bucks, Broncos to close. Preseason, probably sometime this week, but I will take some days to try and do a little slider tweaking, so maybe it takes a little bit longer. Maybe I still end up streaming preseason, we'll see. And yeah, if there is a team that makes a lot of sense for Mac Jones to go to, then I'll probably take them over to do a trade. If somebody has, like, no one over a 68, but we'll see if that's even the case. Broncos, it does make sense. Although they view Jake Haener as their quarterback of the future despite not playing for them last year. So that's not a bad one there. Well, Commanders are going to roll with Darnold and Winston. Well, I'm not going to do it with the Dolphins because they're in the same division. So it looks like it's probably going to be the Broncos, if I do that at all. Trevor Lawrence. All right, now I want to see like the top running backs around the league because I want to see how much it's changing there. Who's going to be relying on running backs that were drafted at some point in the series? You know, the Bengals, they're close here with Greg Bush. What else we got? Carlos Dorsett, still a lead guy with the Browns. Ooh, might be J.K. Dobbins for a bit here still with Arizona. Packers have Josh Raymond as their starter. He's overtaken Aaron Jones. Doug Wallace with the Panthers. We got to see him twice last year. We got Jadarius Roby. So yeah, a couple jobs, but still a lot of really good running backs in the league that haven't fallen off quite yet. Let's go check out some UDFAs. Let's look at some of these speedy quarterbacks. Probably going to focus on Mayweather and Westbrook because we have to decide who is starting. So they're both going to have time with the starters and the backups. Cameron Jordan, that's a second-year player here. You know, did I ever get anybody with that breakaway speed at running back? I guess I drafted a receiver we're going to try there, but we could also try out someone like Zamir White. I just traded them away in my Raiders franchise, and I'm signing him in this series. Might have a signing here at receiver. Steve Tyson. Trying to find more guys who can be slot receivers. I'll sign Clark Brown. He was on practice squad a year ago. Is the mentor boost significant? I'm not sure what the numbers boil down to, but, you know, when there's a spot and I need to get, you know, a boost for young players, it's worth it. So if I want to bring in a mentor at quarterback where we have a couple guys, you know, Mariota, Stafford. I did that with Mariota in my Titans series. Yeah, I'll sign Marcus Mariota for now. Kyle Cohn was the guy you all liked, and now I'll just sign him. Jamal Smith, he's a 67. We'll sign Jamal Smith. But the middle linebackers tend to have the real speed. He's got 72 awareness here. That's not bad. Dean Roby. He's not a rookie, though. But he might be further along than a lot of these guys. Lance Gibson has higher awareness. I'm signing Lance Gibson. And now they never leave me any like UDFAs at safety that I'm interested in. So I had Mitch Herron on the roster last year. He's probably worth bringing back again. And then I like to just have like at least 10 offensive linemen as well. Makes doing the substitutions a lot easier just to have a backup at every position. Keep up the good work, Kane, but safety will never be me. Yeah, I missed my chance to draft you, Corin Haggerty, many years ago. That was a long time ago at this point. 68, 21 years old. Spencer Douglas, Fresno State, 6'6", 269. That's a versatile build. Spencer Douglas. That gives us 74 players. Can I show sliders? I can. I'm going to be tweaking some things. Really, the way Matt 10 and I have looked at sliders for a while, like a lot of it boils down to what you're doing with penalties and getting the game tweaked this way. So, and speed threshold too. Like the thing I'm going to try here in the coming days is speed threshold back at 50 and seeing if that helps clean up some coverage issues that we've been having. Otherwise, you know, it's finding the right blend of stuff down here. And Matt knows it way better than I do. But hopefully we can make it better for year 4. You know, it was kind of, you know, it's not great when you have what I think is pretty good talent on defense, and then you just can't get stops, can't make plays in coverage because you just can't get the guys to play well enough. It wasn't a complete roster, though. There was still things to work on, but I didn't think we were 32nd, giving up 500 points level of bad. Let me reorder our depth chart. We'll take a look there, and that's going to be it for the offseason. You should check Skelton's run block. Fullback 1. A 99 speed fullback. They wouldn't be ready for that. I can't imagine it's any good, even if he was listed at receiver. It's a 53. All right, so here's the way things look now. We have a quarterback competition with David Mayweather and Blake Westbrook. We've added Jadarius Roby, who can split with Kendre Miller, and then we'll be looking for a third. Roby does have some overlap with what he does well and what Miller does well, but that's okay. Like Kamara and Miller were similar athletes as well. It's just good to have multiple guys you can count on there, and I like the upside of Jadarius Roby. But then the big move here, it was a couple hours ago. Garrett Wilson joins the offense. You got a new, number 1 caliber receiver, Jadarius Roby, top 5 drafted quarterback. We're hoping for, an even stronger version of the offense we ran last year. And then we go to defense. We addressed positions here with Eric Armstead providing defensive tackle depth. We added at linebacker Zaven Collins. We also added Julian Love and drafted a promising safety that is not showing up on our depth chart right now, but I imagine that he's got a chance to start right away. And now we can get Tomlinson, Stoutmeyer, and Adebo all on the field together and see if that just plays out better for us. I mean, even earlier in the series, didn't it seem like at times Tommy Tomlinson was the bigger playmaker compared to Marshawn Lattimore? Paulson Adebo, sometimes better than both. Maybe we're working on a post-ratings-based franchise now if we end up seeing David Mayweather be our best quarterback, Marshawn Lattimore not play great, JOK not do anything in coverage. Maybe we just ignore ratings and just put out new names and see who makes plays. It's kind of where we are. Anybody you leaning more to at quarterback to start out? Well, Westbrook, considering I just traded up and took him at the 4th overall pick, I'd sure like this to work out. But if Mayweather is clearly better, then we're going to go with Mayweather. He's a scheme fit. Is that helping him fit better in this offense? I don't know. But this can be a really nasty offense this year. And given how many pieces we have now, you'd think that our operation is mostly quarterback proof. I could look to trade A.T. Perry. It's just a matter of if there's like a position I want to address or if I'm okay just taking a pick. Could Donald Ryans be the next generational wide receiver? So that was a story pre-draft. The Commanders certainly hope so. Passing on the field to... Okay, that's when they took him. Yeah, Fenderson didn't show up on the depth chart there, but I think he'll have a chance to get on the field right away. I'm not sure if it's going to be at strong safety or free safety, but I think right now I'd predict that our starting safeties are Love and Fenderson, and we're trying to figure out what to do with Peppers. Might end up kind of being the odd man out or something. Another trade option for us too. So there we go. 83 overall offense, 81 overall defense. I mean, that is a lower mark to have here in franchise. Peppers at running back. Don't even get me started. I don't think it's going to happen now. Move around the linebackers to get their correct positions. Scheme fits at linebacker. Middle is looking for field general. I don't want to move Zavin or Bolden, really, if they're already a scheme fit. Yeah, run stopper is the fit at left outside. JOK is a fit there. But to me, James Bolden is now like the middle linebacker. Please look at Westbrook's throwing motion. Yeah, it's going to be a slower one. We know that already. But yeah, I think Bolden's going to be the inside guy. Or maybe it's better to list Zavin there because he does have better coverage. I just think that as a run stopper, Bolden's better. Can we start the tradition of having training camp drills during the live stream? Sometimes the off seasons run really long. It depends what I have time for on that day. Some of these live streams have gone 4 hours before we're even at this point, and we're not even at 3 yet. We can probably start a couple of the drills. I know we're going to want to see our quarterback's throw motion here, so let's get Blake Westbrook into the action. All right, let's hope it's not too atrocious. Westbrook. I missed that one. I'm paying attention more at the bullseyes than I am at anything else. I don't know, it doesn't seem like egregious or anything, but yeah, the quick ones are definitely really quick most of the time. This drill is kind of nonsense because most of these routes don't exist. Like, I'm not sure who actually can run a 40-yard dig route, but that's an interesting one. Right over it. I'm not interested in Peppers at linebacker. I have linebackers I'm happy with. And then we got David Mayweather. Oh, come on. That's Garrett Wilson wearing 87. That will not stay his number at all. There, he caught that one at least. AT. Mayweather just throws a good ball. Show off the arm. Ooh. Garrett Wilson didn't catch that. Mayweather put it right on him. Little yak never hurt. Got to get at least one more touchdown here. I think that might get us a silver. What are these routes? Can I just run for it? Five on Wilson here would be nice. I got one more shot. Finally a route. It's a crime that Reggie Bush wasn't able to wear 5 in the NFL. Five's a cool number if you're like a dynamic kind of player. Roby feels pretty fast even for 89 speed. There we go. Jadarius Roby. I wish they'd put a third defender out here. It's kind of trivial with the 2. I'm back in on Roby. See? Ooh. Ooh, Bolden makes a play that time. That wasn't bad. He has Deuce McAllister's number. He sure does. I kind of like the 2-6 there. That's not bad. I'm old school. All my receivers have numbers in the 80s in franchise. What numbers in the 80s still work good for receiver? I like 84 is always a receiver number, thanks to Randy Moss. I mean, the Cowboys have had 88 for years. I think 81's good. I think 80, 89, but 87 is a tight end number. 86 is a tight end number. 85, I think, can go either way. And 83 feels like a tight end number. And not just like a starting tight end. I feel like 83 is a second tight end number. I'm going to do one of these. Oh, is this all linebackers? No, because I want to work on... I really want to develop Justin Medlock this year. 17 is the best receiver number. What about 18? Come on, Medlock. There you go. I think I took a lot of time on that first rep. I'm not sure how easy it's going to be to get 3 sacks here. Yeah, I'm going to have to just run by some guys, I think, on this. Oh, it resets every time. I didn't know that. Around you. That's going to be a skill point, though, for Medlock. $17's a good receiver number. I'll give you that. Garrett Wilson's temporarily wearing 87 because I haven't adjusted it at all. $80, Donald Driver, Isaac Bruce. $84, Randy Moss, Sterling Sharp. $87, Jordy Nelson, Reggie Wayne. 87 still feels like a tight end number to me. Pearman drill? Yeah, I still like doing drills with Pearman. Yeah, Mushin Muhammad in 87. This guy's just stuck to him. Tomlinson's elite. We just got to go over the top then. I'm going right for that 500. Put it up. Oh, I missed the 500, but I had it. I'm going for the 5. Let it fly. Oh, too far. How about I hit him with the quick out route? Yikes. I need a gimme. I'm going for that 5 again. Ooh, that was a good move. I can't miss this one. I did. Come on. Yeah, Pearman's unfair in that. Joe Horn wore 87. That's right, with the Saints, too. Eventually, a quarterback will wear 0. Definitely. Especially when, like, 1 through 19 are taken, and you're, like, the third quarterback on the depth chart or something. Yeah, I don't like doing the DB ones a lot, but we do need to get a look at some of these guys, too. Let's go Alex Sharp on this one. Yeah, well, quarterbacks ever wore 19. Whoops, I wasn't paying attention. I'm trying to think. Probably, you know, someone like, yeah, in the 50s. Or a random, like, fourth stringer in training camp. The crossing route is the toughest one to guard. Joe Montana wore 19 in KC. Johnny Unitas wore 19. Do you think, like, our grandparents, like, 50 years ago did the same conversations? Wide receivers need to wear number 74. Give me Priestley. What they were probably saying is real receivers don't wear gloves. I guarantee that was a conversation. You didn't catch it? Yikes. We've got Antoine Priestley here. Again, we have to face Tomlinson instead of, like, a backup. Nice catch. Kind of, like, nervous to get in this 400 zone. I think if I want to get in that 400, I need to, like, break a little later. That's going to be out of bounds. Counts anyway. I want to get Johnny Fenderson here in this one. I love that baseball is finally embracing high numbers. Which ones are taken other than, like, Judge with 99? Strider wears 99. Yep. You got to catch it, Johnny. I thought you had 70 catching. That's pretty good for a safety. It's just going to be this stuff today. I'm kind of wrapping up here. I still have to prevent a touchdown. That's right. Oh, he's going to hit me with the corner route. Oh, never ready for that one. I need one more good play to secure at least a bronze. $75 for Vince Wilfork always felt odd. Like, he felt like the most, like, 99. Like, that needs to be his number kind of player. Now we got to go up against Jadarius Roby. Oh, trying to go for that hit stick. Yeah, that hurts too when you get broken tackles. Yeah, I think it's worth it to just go for a hit stick every time. When you hit, you get big points. Oh. You only lose 50 on the touchdown. Whatever works, right? With Mayweather, we're going to be doing a real quarterback battle in preseason, and he'll either be QB1 or QB2. I got him on the ground. That's it. Roby's got moves. Championship worthy? I mean, I love the way the offense has come together overall. I think we have to get something more out of the defense this year, and that's really questionable. I'll try again. I didn't get a medal at all. I only hit like 2 or 3 hit sticks. We played against him last year. I could tell he was like, all right, this isn't your typical like backup running back type caliber player. Whatever. Do I see the Bears trading Justin Fields to the Vikings? I don't. I was reading an article yesterday about how the Vikings are like betting favorites to get Fields, and it's like, why on earth would that be the case? That's already uncommon to have an interdivisional trade. You want to have an interdivisional quarterback trade and say it's the most likely destination? It was like, I forget what the odds were, but it's like there's no way it should be as high as it is. The Vikings have faced Fields probably 4 times, 6 times. I don't know what it is. They probably realize there's no point in trading for him. Not sure if you saw my last super chat, but any chance of finishing up the Rockies franchise? Yeah, there's still a chance I could go back and do more of a proper ending. I left it wide open. I still have the game on my hard drive, but I don't have any immediate plans. Yeah, I mean, I'd like to see Fields go somewhere. A team that needs a quarterback maybe isn't picking so high. I thought like the Falcons were an interesting landing spot. But I don't see where it makes sense in the Vikings, Kevin O'Connell downfield passing offense at all. Like, I am interested to see like what happens with Fields this year, because I just can't help but always think about like the offense the Bears were running this year and how limited their pass game was. Like, they did not trust him, and I want to see, like, is this more like everybody else thinks that, Fields is limited and they want to just protect him while he's playing, or was this more on the play calling and just Luke Getsy wasn't a good OC? It could be both weren't good, but I guess the Bears offense was really trying to keep it simple on Fields, is what I'm trying to get at. A lot of useless bubble screens and stuff you can't screw up, really. Yeah, I'm excited for the new NCAA game just to see if, all the time spent was enough to get what we want in the game. I know there's going to be some sort of ultimate team component or some sort of microtransaction infested mode, but I really want to see if they can, is Dynasty back and better than it was in 14? Is Road to Glory as good as it was? Like, I actually think there's a high likelihood they screw up Road to Glory. I really do. Because I think Road to Glory had so many things that worked well in like 14, the way you would earn your right to call plays. You would have to fight your way up the depth chart. It felt like a much more progression-oriented career mode, and I have a feeling they're going to water it down when they bring it back. Like, think about when you do Superstar here on Madden. You're an undrafted running back, and you're picking every single play you're running. That, to me, kills the experience. I love NCAA, where it's like, all right, the coach calls the plays, and if you earn the ability, you can, change a few a game. But I think that it ruins the player-based experience when you just let the cornerback call every defensive play, every running back, and just, spam 25 runs a game. Yeah, it's totally different when you're the quarterback and calling plays, but even then, I think that it is more fun to play around the CPU's play calling there. You can't just spam the same plays, and it just feels like it just feels right when you can't call every play for that. A little off the mark there. Yeah, at least the option to toggle. Like, if you want to call every play, go for it, but I think that it's a lot more fun to have some restrictions. I imagine they'll link like draft classes up again. That was a great feature back in the day. Although in many Maddens, like the ratings did not move over to Madden very well. It was really weird, but I have a feeling now, 10 plus years, maybe they'd have a better way of making the classes move over, having a degree of, mystery there. Yeah, I'm hopeful for NCAA to, or not NCAA, the college football game to hopefully be what we want it to be. I'm happy they've taken so much time in making it. You know, there's a lot more if you're going to do it right. You know, you need to have a lot of stadiums in there. And one of my big issues in Madden is there is absolutely no sense of atmosphere. And college football is like heavily focused on that stadium feel, and every stadium's got their own chants, and you want the crowd to feel a part of the game. And Madden, it's so dry and simple. And I really want to see that kind of thing actually emphasized in the college game. My main thing is that I want to see Dynasty be better than what it was, and I want to see Road to Glory be better than what it was. After 10 years, we should be expecting it to take a big leap forward. I don't even think NCAA 14's Dynasty was the best in the series. They significantly watered down recruiting to make it easier and to take less time. And they lost a lot of the nuance in the process, where recruiting was more focused on like conversing and learning about the players. They could soft commit and then turn you down. And remember back to when I played NCAA, 10 plus years ago, and Colorado took one of my players I had a soft commit for. And then we had a whole like rivalry with them. We played against them, and he intercepted me, I think, twice in one game, at least once. So it was like there was so much more that could go into Dynasty in some of the previous games that was better than even 14. And 14 had bad player progression, transfer logic, commit early logic. Obviously, in college football revamped, a lot of that had gotten better. But even then, you're still limited. And I really hope that with this game coming back that they nail it. I don't think we know anything about NIL, transfer portal, any of that stuff. Most of what they're talking about is like what teams are in the game and some of that, I guess, more core info. But yeah, I think that was a successful off season. I'm looking forward to the new season. Got a new quarterback, a new receiver, new running back. It's going to be fun to see what we can do. Got some key free agents going into this year as well. Ramczyk, Olave, probably a couple other names as well are going to be free agents. I actually like to take a look at that quick. I'm worried about the NIL edition. I am too, because I'm not convinced, although like NIL is a part of the game these days, that it actually makes for a more fun Dynasty experience. I have serious doubts that it's more fun to maneuver with that mechanic. I think implementing it would be very hard too. So Olave, free agent after this year. Brissy, Foskey, Ramczyk, A.T. Perry, Kendre Miller, Tony Adams, Jordan Howden, Cesar Ruiz. Yeah, a couple key ones. So you got plenty of cap space looking ahead. That coming up. All right, everybody. That is going to do it for today. Next time you see me, it'll be the edited off season, and then we'll get to preseason. Hopefully by then I have addressed some of the sliders and I've cleaned some things up to give us better, more varied games in the next season. That's my hope anyway. Thank you all for your support and coming out to the live stream today. Please leave a like if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel. Saints franchise has been tough so far, but after all these years now and adding some players, now we finally got the quarterback. I said a couple years ago we might not have like a young, high drafted quarterback until year 4, and now we're there. We'll see where the team goes from here. Y'all enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I'll see you next time, everybody. Have a great day.